Good morning, good afternoon, and thank you for participating and watching this presentation of my coursework for my course in assessment of English language learners. So over the course of this class, I have learned about different assessment strategies and different assessment protocols for our ELL students and our school. Through this course, I have conducted a survey that I'd like to share with you and also share the results of the survey. And I've identified some areas of strength and areas of need at our school. Okay, let's begin with just a little glimpse of where our school is, Christiana High School is, in comparison with the other schools in our area, in our state. So as you can see from this chart, the state of Delaware is about 10%, almost 10% ELL students. All right. Throughout our district, our ELL percentage is 12%, and our percentage is actually at 8%, which is a little bit lower than the district average. So this is the breakdown of the ELL students at our school. At our school, we have about 84 students that are designated as ELL. Some of them do not have a native language identified that I could find through the data service system. But what was interesting about our school, especially in comparison to others, is that our school has a very high Arabic population. Most of our Arabic students are listed as having a country of origin of Yemen. I think 24 of those 26 come from Yemen. Then 26 of the students are native language Spanish speakers. And then we have a couple that, only a few in each of Chinese, Vietnamese, and Bengali. And then all these other languages listed, we have one student each that speaks them. So we really have a very diverse set of native languages that the students, speak. And oftentimes when you say English language learners, most people will assume that is Spanish speaking, and that's actually not the case at our school at all. Actually, 30% of our students, more than that, speak Arabic as their native language, which is not the Arabic language is not the same character system as the English language, and it's it's another host of issues trying to reach those students. So we invited different members from the faculty to take a survey on the knowledge level on their teaching of ELL students and also on their access to information regarding teaching of ELL students, i.e. professional development. So we included in our invitation school counselors, academic coaches, content area teachers of math, ELA, science, social studies, ESL, and world languages. Now we did pull and invite people from the entire school, 6 through 12. So we actually had a lot of faculty members that we invited. We had 15 members that completed the survey. We had 4 that were content area in math, 4 that were content area ELA, 3 science teachers, 3 social studies teachers, and 1 counselor participated in the survey. So this is just open comments and feedback that we got from this. I just think it was interesting and important enough to include in the presentation because, as much as I ask a question or we ask a question for a direct response on something, this is just our schools and some of our school staff's opinion on teaching ELL students. So this is just a couple things they said. You can see, obviously, we felt a need for more Arabic-speaking para support. A lot of concerns about the virtual learning happening. Virtual learning is very different, dealing with remote learning. So there is some concern here in green. I feel like ELL learners are only provided 1 block a day of support and are expected to perform at the same level of non-ELL students in the traditional curriculum. So that's something that through our course curriculum that, through getting the certification and learning more about ELL teaching, they're not going to be at the same level, and that's okay sometimes, but you really have to understand where they are so you can set the expectation for them appropriately in the classroom. So, obviously here in red, some frustration that there's not enough support in the academic classrooms. More concern about the virtual instruction. And then we did have some teachers that were in the middle school program who did not have any ELL students, and their results were included with everyone else's. So that's just, I thought, something interesting to note about our data. So these were our strengths: collaboration and assessment. Everyone agreed or highly agreed that communication about our ELL students is very, very important. 7 faculty agreed or were neutral. We had 15 in the survey. That collaboration amongst teachers is of high value. So that was a strength, is that our teachers acknowledge that collaboration is important and of value. Then we had 7 teachers agreed or strongly agreed that they felt that they knew how to, or they met the needs of assessing their ELL learners in the classroom. So these are some recommendations that were discovered for maintaining the strengths. So you can see, one study showed that when teachers are given ample planning time and shared time and having a realistic schedule, having 2 teachers in the classroom is really great for students. I thought our school does that well. We have a lot of co-taught classrooms. We have a lot of pairs in the classroom. That was something that we should continue at our school. The next 2 tasks on here are more performance-based research tasks. So for maintaining that ability to assess a student, instead of asking a student to, answer a question, pencil and paper, maybe we could also assess our students also by asking them to perform a task in the classroom. So there's many ways you can do that. Like, in a science classroom, you can say, well, are they, following the lab appropriately? Are they able to set up an equation the right way? Are they, identifying the right things in the problem? That was something that was of high value. And then also noted was I found an article about Malaysian students who, when they use a collaborative online environment such as Schoology, that's actually the what they mentioned in the article, that they use the discussion board feature, and the students actually did really well at correcting each other in that informal way of checking each other. So I thought those are things that I know we do really well. We've done a lot, especially with the virtual learning with Nearpod and Flipgrid, and just learning how to get the kids to interact with each other that way. So our areas of need were professional development and practice speaking within the classroom. So we had five participants that said they didn't think they knew enough about the ELL programs. That could have been because we had some middle school teachers who don't interact with ELL students, so they don't know much about the ELL programs. We had 7 disagreed that they felt they did not have good enough access to professional development opportunities. Teachers did not feel that there was enough time set aside during PLC to plan for ELL learners. The speaking skills was actually seen as an area of need. I didn't note it before because it wasn't as drastic as the other ones, but teachers did say that our students had a lot of time to engage in listening practice. So if they're not speaking, they're listening. We had 5 of the 15 respondents. They didn't think they used a variety of approaches when assessing ELLs. And I thought that was interesting because, and one of the strengths was they said teachers were confident that they were assessing ELLs the right way, but yet they felt like they were not assessing them in multiple ways. So one person actually did write this comment: ELLs do not have as many opportunities for students to practice their writing and speaking skills online. That was evidence outside of the survey results that the teacher felt strongly enough to leave that as a comment. So here are some research-based recommendations. So professional development should be long-term and should have participant buy-in. There was, during January, we had a January in service, and there was almost, I would say, the most available professional development was in ELL learning. It was online. It was not collaborative, you know, but that's what what was available. Also, I found some research on using collaborative learning models with ELL students specifically. The article cited the Kagan structures, which Christiana has been a Kagan school in the past. I know we have not had a formal Kagan training like school-wide in a little bit, but that was something that ELL students really thrived in. This particular structures of round robin, rally coach, and post-study test, those were really good at engaging kids to speak to each other, and that was especially good for ELL students. So yeah, there was a couple studies on that, and the students who participated did especially well. Okay, so that was the end of our feedback and the recommendations I have for, you know, for our ELL program. So within our folder, I'd really appreciate it if you could acknowledge that you've viewed this presentation and provide any feedback or any questions or comments you might have, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you.